Shut up and sit down.
Hello everybody and welcome to another episode of the Gamma Legacy. Today we're going to be covering Gamma 42, Dean versus Moura. It's tonight. We haven't had any cancellations on this fight card, so that's exciting. Everyone can be pleased about that. But let's get right into the action. Let's not waste any more time. Let's not dilly-dally. Okay, we're going to start the show, yes. We'll go over quickly some of the information here for you. So, okay, I'll read what it says. Welcome to Blurcat's pre-show analysis of Gamma 42, Dean versus Moura, being held in Texas. This is the third Gamma show of 2001. We're due to have 6 main fights plus 7 preliminary bouts. Our main event is Matthew Dean, 36-5, 10-1 in Gamma, taking on Braulio Moura, 24-2 with 1 no contest, 2-0 in Gamma for the Gamma Middleweight title. Other things to watch out for include Gladstone Lopez taking on Hughes in a heavyweight tilt. Gamma's number 9 ranked welterweight, the strategist Rufus Stevens, who's coming off a unanimous decision win over Nathan Chambers at Gamma Battle Lines 2 Morrison vs Sugar 2. The undefeated, the bad element Kirk Kitson makes his Gamma debut, and Gamma's number 13th ranked light heavyweight, the Calgary assassin Mike Watson, who was last seen knocking out Ken Peters at Gamma 32 Dean vs Ghana 2. So, as I said in the last video of this Gamma series, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go over the preliminary fights off camera, and then I'll join you guys for the main portion of the show, as it were. Hopefully you like that format a little bit better. Let me know if you think that any changes are required for it. Okay, I'll have a little bit of a look at some of this stuff. Dean is making his 8th defence of the Gamma Middleweight title. If successful, it would set a new record for the belt. Moura has finished 4 of his last 5 opponents. Dean has finished 4 of his last 5 opponents. 2 of the best pound-for-pound fighters in the world. Dean is ranked number 1, Moura is 19. Dean is main eventing a Gamma show for the 9th time. Dean trains at Animal House. Moura has an overall record of 1-0 against the other current members of that team. This is the first time they have fought. Dean is the favourite to win the fight. Okay, the co-main event of Kirk Kitson against Mike Watson. Both fighters are world-ranked light heavyweights. Kitson is number 15, Watson is number 18. Kitson has won 3 of his last 5 fights by decision. This is the first time they have fought. This is the Gamma debut of Kitson, and Kitson actually is the heavy favourite. Bit of a surprise. And this is the last fight we'll go over a little bit of detail on. Both fighters are world-ranked welterweights. Alderizio is 12, Stevens is number 18. This is the first time they've fought. Alderizio is the favourite. I'll quickly go through the rest of them and just, you guys can pause the screen to have a look at what you want on it. So we've got Bruce Stevens taking on Luke Hilton. Efrain against Graham Goodbody. Carmelo Rossi against Evan G-Man Gardner. Folk Dalen versus Glenn Siamasco. Joshua Hope against Terry Catt. Damian Jones against Renato. Thomas Smith against Isaiah Monroe. Zaire Williams against Ossam Malabi. Jan Hasluk against Lenny Di Maria. And that is it. So, as I said, I'll go over the 7 preliminary cards off camera, and I'll catch you guys for the main portion of the show. Okay, so here we are, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. It's the main card, the main portion of the show, the real reason everyone turned up to see this event. I'll go over what happened in the preliminaries after the fight card finishes. There was only one, I will say, there was only one draw out of the 7 fights that took place, and they're all pretty decent, actually, I have to say. But now here we are. We start off with a heavyweight encounter, or a super heavyweight encounter, more accurately, between Efrain and Graham the Man Mountain Goodbody. Okay, so the main card opens with Efrain battling Graham the Man Mountain Goodbody. Leo Bian will be the referee. Our cage side judges are Wild, Milligan III and Wodehouse. The fight begins. Luat deliberately doesn't touch gloves to start. Ooh. An exchange of strikes does not produce any damage. Both fighters move in and engage. Luat is off target with a jab and also can't hit a right cross. Goodbody is off target with a left jab and also misses with a big right hand. Both fighters step in to strike. Luat hits a jab and also nails a right cross. Goodbody uses a left jab but doesn't connect with a right hand. Both fighters move in and engage. Luat uses a left jab and also scores with a right hook. Goodbody hits a jab and also lands a right hook. Both fighters come together and strike. Goodbody doesn't connect with a left jab but hits a right cross. Luat is off target with a jab and also doesn't find the mark with a right hook. Both fighters move in and engage. Loat scores with the jab but doesn't connect with the right hand. Goodbody hits a jab but doesn't find the mark with the right hook. The fighters go toe-to-toe with strikes, but the flurry ends without any significant damage landing. An exchange of strikes doesn't go anywhere. Both fighters move in and engage. Loat is off target with a jab but hits a right cross. Goodbody doesn't connect with the left jab but connects with the right hand. Both fighters step in to strike. Loat misses with a left jab but nails a right cross. Goodbody misses with a left jab and also doesn't find the mark with a right hook. There's under a minute left in the round. There's an exchange of strikes at relatively close range but nothing really lands. They exchange a few strikes but nothing significant lands. An exchange of strikes happens right in the centre of the cage but neither fighter lands anything good. And that's where the round ends. I'd give that to Loat myself, and Blurcat would agree with me. And here we go for round 2. They come to the centre and strike. Goodbody doesn't connect with the left hand but lands a right hook. Loat scores with a jab but misses a right hook. Both fighters step in to strike. Loat uses a left jab and also scores with a right hook. Goodbody is off target with a left jab and also can't hit a right cross. Both fighters meet in the centre. Goodbody doesn't connect with the left jab and also misses a right hook. Loat lands a left jab and also hits a right cross. Both fighters meet in the centre. Loat is off target with the jab but nails a right cross. Goodbody is off target with the jab and also doesn't find the mark with a right hook. They come forward and engage. Loat hits a jab but misses with a big right hand. Goodbody misses with a left jab but hits a right cross. Very much a stand-up striking affair from two what are known to be grapplers. The two combatants meet in the centre and start to strike again. Loat is off target with a left jab but lands a nice right hook. Goodbody lands a left but doesn't connect with the right hand. They come together and strike. Loat scores with a jab but misses with a big right hand. Goodbody uses a left jab but doesn't find the mark with the right hook. We pass the halfway mark of this round. The two fighters engage. Loat hits a left jab and also scores with a right hook. Goodbody is off target with the jab and also can't hit a right cross. The two fighters engage. Loat scores with the jab and also nails a right cross. Goodbody doesn't connect with the left jab and also misses a right hook. They come together and strike. Loat hits a jab and also nails a right cross. Goodbody hits a left jab and also hits a good right hand. There's under a minute left in the round. The two fighters engage. Loat hits a left jab and also nails a right cross. That's a sentence I'm going to remember forever. Goodbody misses a jab and also can't hit a right cross. Both fighters move in and engage. Loat lands a left jab and also scores with a right hook. Oh, he's mixing it up. Goodbody is off target with a left jab and also misses with a big right hand. And that's the end of round 2. Again, it has to go to Loat. Even if they take the final round, they don't think Goodbody's going to get it. There's the bell for the start of the final round. Goodbody looks very tentative, pokes out a quick jab that hits. Loat lands a jab and then scores with a right cross. I'm going to wake up at like 3 in the morning going, Loat lands a jab and misses a right cross. A quick step in from Goodbody means he closes the distance and clinches with the Loat without significant strikes landing. Goodbody is trying to push Loat so that his back is up against the cage, and does so. He doesn't look like he has much left in the tank though. Loat is unable to break free though, so he's being smothered, and that's where things stay for the next 30 seconds with a bit of pitter-patter back and forth punches. Loat also looks very tired, but he might have done enough at this point. Goodbody tries to maintain control, but Loat actually gets himself out of the position and puts Goodbody up against the cage. Now it's Loat's turn to smother him up against there. He's still trapped on there, gets hit with a short left uppercut, but the referee separates them and brings them back to the centre. Loat confidently moves in closer, looking to throw some strikes. Goodbody uses a brace of left jabs while backing away, doing no damage at all. Loat uses a left jab but finds nothing but air with a big right. Goodbody moves in fast and grapples with his opponent. Goodbody is trying to muscle Loat up against the cage, and does so. The end of the round is coming quick, there's under a minute left. Goodbody tries to keep him up against the cage with wrestling, but Loat reverses so that he's the one in control. Goodbody waits for Loat to try to do something, but he now reverses him again. And he shows his grappling control by pressing him up against the cage till the fight ends. And that is it. Maybe a Goodbody round, but I think it's still Loat's fight. And they even gave the last round to Loat as well, so you'd think 30-27 on all scorecards. Efrain Loat gets the first boring fight of the entire show, and it's the opener for the main card. Efrain Loat walks away with the winner. Decent fight apparently. He goes to 8-0, whilst Graham Goodbody falls to 19-11. Okay, next is Mr. Intensity Bruce Stephen taking on the Hillbilly Hammer Luke Hilton in the lightweight division. This will be the referee, and the cage-side judges are Milligan III, Wodehouse and Twain. Here we go. Start with a touch of gloves. Hilton closes in on Stephen, looking to unleash some strikes. Hilton connects with a jab but finds nothing but air with a big right. Hilton steps in and looks to unleash. It looked like we were about to see Stephen try and get some grappling started, but Hilton was more aggressive and took the initiative. Hilton uses a left jab, but Stephen evades a big right to the body. A quick step in from Stephen means he closes the distance and clinches with Hilton without any significant counter strikes landing. Stephen is looking to muscle Hilton back against the cage, and does so. He's now controlling Hilton up against the cage. A bit of an exchange of short punches go on for about a minute, whilst Hilton is still pressed up against the cage. About 30 seconds more of this carries on before the referee steps in to break it up. Stephen appeared to be going to try and get in close, but Hilton took the initiative first, and Hilton lands a left hand and then hits Stephen with a straight right. Hilton steps in and looks to unleash. Hilton lands a jab and then scores with a right cross that landed hard, and that... Oh, Stephen may have seriously damaged jaw after that last shot. It looks like Hilton may have broken Stephen's jaw with 1 second to go of the first round. That has to be a Hilton round, and indeed blur category, although Stephen interestingly is the favourite. There's the bell for the start of the round. Hilton moves in on Stephen preparing to throw. Hilton can't connect with his set-up strikes, but then lands a vicious right cross. He's down, Stephen falls to the floor. Hilton starts pounding away on Stephen, looking to finish him off. Hilton pounds away on Stephen, but doesn't do much damage. Stephen tries to move to guard, but Hilton doesn't allow it. Hilton throws a few right hands to the body. Stephen pulls half guard. Hilton fires off a few punches as he catches his breath. Stephen gets some separation and tries to scramble for position. There wasn't enough separation though. Hilton is able to catch him and secure side control. Hilton's now looking to get the mount, and as Stephen desperately tries to fight it, they find themselves scrambling for position. The scramble leaves Stephen on his back pulling guard. Hilton throws a few strikes, but they're without venom. Stephen tries to ensnare an arm, but Hilton doesn't let it get taken. Hilton throws a couple of punches designed to keep Stephen guessing. Hilton throws a few right hands as he takes a moment to plan ahead. Stephen gets the double underhooks in and pulls Hilton close, controlling him well. And that's where that round ends, and that's going to be a Hilton round as well, I would think. Stephen, they believe, needs to finish the fight. And here we go, one last round. Hilton comes in looking to strike. Stephen had looked like he was trying to angle to grapple, but couldn't take the initiative. Hilton lands a left hand and then hits a nice straight right that lands hard. Hilton lands a left hand and then hits Stephen with a right to the side of the ribs. A fast approach allows Stephen to pull Hilton into a clinch without significant strikes landing. Stephen is looking to back Hilton up against the cage and does so. Now he's trying to smother him. Next 30 seconds sees them exchange a little bit of dirty boxing. But Hilton is able to reverse it and push Stephen up against the cage. They've been stuck there for a while, the referee separates them. Stephen moves in and clinches, but had to withstand several punches to get there. With control of the clinch, Stephen tries to complete a takedown. Hilton's able to block it though and takes control of the grapple. Now Hilton looks to be taking him down, and does so with a Greco-Roman slam, and he forces Stephen into half guard. In half guard, Hilton catches his breath, content to just throw a couple of punches to the body. Hilton throws a few right hands to the body, and does so again, and that's where the round ends. And that's going to be a Hilton fight, I think. So two main card fights look like they've gone to draws there. This one was definitely more exciting than the last one. That's to go down as a 10-9 round to Hilton. The ring announcers giving the scores. All three give it 30-27 to Luke Hilton, who walks away with a unanimous decision victory. Bruce Stephen falls to 19-9, whilst the Hillbilly Hammer goes to 12-1. In the post-fight interview, Hilton says he'd like to take on Sean Morrison next. Well, Sean Morrison's likely to be going up against Brandon Sugar for the lightweight title. That's a bold step, but we'll have to see how things go for you. Right. And let's go on to the next fight. Now here we have Gladstone Lopez, the Brazilian bomber, taking on the demolition expert Raul Hughes in the heavyweight division. Referee is Leo Behan, and the judges are Wild, Milligan III and Wodehouse. We're underway. Lopez rather obviously ignores the offer to touch gloves to begin. The two fighters engage with strikes, but nothing significant lands. A quick step in from Lopez means he closes the distance and clinches with Hughes without any significant counter strikes landing. Hughes tries to wiggle free, but Lopez controls him well and gets a few close range punches in too. Lopez is trying to push Hughes so that his back is up against the cage, and does so. Hughes gets caught with a knee to the side of the stomach. Lopez pins Hughes up against the cage and hits a couple of nice right hands to the side of the head. And he's continuing to smother him there using dirty boxing and drives a knee into the thigh area. Hughes is controlled up against the cage and takes an elbow to the face from the clinch. Lopez hits a knee strike to the side of the ribs. Lopez uses dirty boxing to punish Hughes while he is pressed up against the cage. Now he's just smothering him once more. And they're hitting each other with little pity-patter punches before the referee breaks it up. Hughes comes forward on the attack. Lopez throws a counter jab but misses. Hughes connects with a jab and then hits a nice straight left. Lopez takes a few glancing strikes as he closes the distance but gets close enough to grab a clinch. 1 minute left in the round. Lopez tries to wrestle Hughes backward and up against the cage and does so. Lopez catches Hughes with a knee strike to the ribs from the clinch while he is pressed up against the cage. Hughes is controlled up against the cage and takes an elbow to the face and gets hit with a short left uppercut. Takes another elbow to the face, and that's where the round ends. So that's going to be a Lopez round. Round 2 now. Hughes comes forward and the two fighters exchange strikes. Lopez misses with the left hand in the exchange. A jab hit home from Hughes and then catches Lopez with the left hook to the body. The two combatants meet in the centre and start to strike. Lopez misses a jab but connects with a thumping kick to the thigh. Hughes uses a right jab and also hits a left cross. A jab hit home from Hughes and then hits Lopez with a straight left. Hughes closes in on Lopez, looking to unleash some strikes. Lands two right hands, then scores with a left cross. Both fighters step in to strike. Lopez misses a jab, but hits a good kick to the leg. Hughes hits a jab and also scores with a left hook. An exchange of strikes doesn't go anywhere. The two fighters engage and strike, but neither lands anything worthwhile. And we're now halfway through the round. An exchange of strikes happens right in the centre of the cage, but nothing comes of it. An exchange of strikes doesn't go anywhere. Hughes comes forward on the attack. Lopez hits a jab in the exchange. Hughes hits a right jab and then hits a nice straight left. They exchange a few strikes but nothing significant lands. Lopez lands a weak tentative jab. Hughes connects with two right hands and then lands a left hand. The two fighters engage and strike but neither can land a significant shot. Hughes attacks with strikes. Lopez lands a left hand in the exchange. Hughes connects with a nice jab and then hits Lopez with a straight left, and I think that's actually going to be a Hughes round. All eyes are glued on this match after an excellent action-packed round. That's what we like to see. And they believe Hughes has got it, so it's 1-1 going into the final round. Here's the final round. The two fighters come forward and engage. Lopez uses a left jab and also lands a leg kick. Hughes scores with a brace of jabs and also lands a left hook. Hughes comes forward with an attack. Lopez throws the counter left but doesn't connect. Hughes lands a right hand and then lands a left hand. Hughes is limping a little bit. They stand and trade blows, but neither can land anything damaging. Hughes comes forward on the attack. Lopez hits a counter left hand. Hughes connects with a nice jab and then lands a big left hand. Lopez moves in and clinches, but had to move through a flurry of strikes on the way in. Now Lopez tries to wrestle Hughes backwards up against the cage and does so. He pins Hughes there, a couple of nice right hands to the side of the head. Lopez smothers Hughes against the cage, then scores with the left to the side of the stomach. We've passed halfway mark in this round. Smothered against the cage, Hughes cannot get free. Another bit of dirty boxing from both men, and Lopez ends up smothering him there and hits him with a shot to the stomach. Now a knee to the ribs, and the referee separates them. Hughes forces an exchange of strikes, and he'll need to do that if he wants to win this now. Lopez throws a counter jab but misses. Hughes lands a jab and then catches Lopez with the left hook. Lopez steps in and grapples with his opponent, but had to take several strikes on the way in to do so. Now he's trying to push him up against the cage, and does so, and that's probably where the round's going to end, and it does indeed. They're arguing that you could give it either way. It looks like it might be a split decision. Based on the aggressiveness in that last round, I'd have to go for Hughes, to be honest with you. I think Lopez clearly won the first, Hughes clearly won the second, and I think it's just Hughes in the third. So I'd give it 29-28 to Hughes, but we'll see what the judges do. 29-28 Lopez, 29-28 Hughes. As I said, split decision. And they've given it to Lopez. I'm not sure I agree with that, but it was close, I guess. Let me know in the comments below, anyone who's seen this part of the video, who do you think won that match? For me personally, it would have been Raul Hughes. Now, before the fight, I thought Lopez would have won it, so I'm not too surprised, but I'm surprised that the decision went the way it did. Okay, 3 decisions. Hoping for some bit more excitement, boys. I mean, to be fair, the last 2 fights weren't boring. This one might be boring, actually, now, because they're both wrestlers. Oh well. Welterweight contest between the strategist Rufus Stevens against Josh TNT Alderizio. Crisp is the referee. Wild, Milligan III and Wodehouse are your cage-side judges. Here we go. They start with a touch of gloves and they engage. Stevens scores with a jab and also connects with the right hand. Alderizio is off target with a left jab but hits the left to the body. Both fighters meet in the centre. Stevens lands a left jab but doesn't connect with the right hand. Alderizio uses a left jab and also lands a right hook. Both fighters meet in the centre. Stevens hits a left jab and also lands a right hook. Alderizio uses a left jab and also connects with the right hand. Both fighters meet in the centre. Stevens misses a jab but connects with the right hand. Alderizio lands a left jab and also connects with the right hand. They engage in the centre. The wrestlers don't seem to want to strike in this one, as they did in the previous encounter. Not between them on the card. I think you got what I meant though. Stevens is off target with a left jab and also doesn't connect with a right hand. Alderizio misses a jab and also misses with a big right hand. Both fighters step in to strike. Stevens doesn't connect with a brace of jabs but lands a right hook. Alderizio hits a left jab and also hits a right cross. They come together and trade leather, but neither really does any damage. They come together and strike. Stevens hits a left jab and also connects with the right hand. Alderizio hits a jab and also connects with the right hand. They engage in the centre. Not much in the way of defence. Defence! Defence! Don't know why I said it like that. I apologise. Stevens hits a jab and also scores with the right hook. Alderizio scores with a jab and also lands a right hook as well. Both fighters come and strike. Stevens uses a left jab but misses with a big right hand. Alderizio uses the left jab but doesn't find the mark with a right hook. The two fighters engage. Stevens scores with a jab but misses with a big right hand. Alderizio doesn't connect with a left jab but hits a right cross. An exchange of strikes happens right in the centre of the cage but nothing comes of it. We're into the final minute of the round. They meet in the centre. Alderizio is off target with a jab but scores with the right hook. Stevens is off target with a left jab and also doesn't find the mark with a right hook. The fighters go toe to toe with strikes but nothing lands. And the same again. And that's the end of the round. I don't know who to give that to. Maybe Alderizio? The fans enjoyed it, which is nice. And they think it's close as well, but they've just given it to Alderizio. Back underway for round 2. They engage. Stevens uses a left jab and also lands a left hook to the body. Alderizio uses a left jab but misses a right hook. They come together and engage, but nothing really lands. They come together again to strike. Alderizio misses a jab but connects with the right hand. Stevens hits a jab but misses with a big right hand. They stand and trade in the centre of the cage but neither land anything. They step together again. Stevens lands 2 jabs but misses a right hook. Alderizio scores with the jab and also hits a right cross. Both fighters move in and engage. Stevens hits a couple of jabs and also lands a right hook. Alderizio hits a jab but misses a right hook. They engage again. Stevens hits a couple of jabs but misses with an attempted shot to the body. Alderizio is off target with a left jab and also can't hit a right cross. Halfway in the round, both fighters step in to strike. Stevens doesn't connect with a left jab but hits a right cross. Alderizio misses a jab and also misses with a big right hand. They stand and trade in the centre of the cage, but neither fighter can land a good shot. They engage again. Stevens scores with a brace of jabs and also scores with a right hook. Alderizio uses a left jab but doesn't find the mark with a right hook. They engage once more. Stevens scores with a jab but misses a right hook. Alderizio hits a jab and also hits a right hand. They engage in the centre. Stevens uses a left jab and also scores with the right hook. Alderizio hits the left jab but misses with a big right hand. They meet once more. Stevens uses a left jab and also scores with a left hook to the side of the body, mixing it up. Very nice, we like that. Alderizio is off target with a left jab but hits a right cross. Both fighters move in to engage. Stevens doesn't connect with the left jab but scores with the right hook, and Alderizio hits a jab and also hits a big right hand. That's where the round ends. I would also have said Stevens, so looks like it might be 1 round apiece. Last round, round 3 begins. The two fighters engage. Stevens scores with a jab and also lands a right hook. Alderizio hits a jab and also hits a right hand. The two fighters engage. Stevens scores with a jab but fails on a hook attempt to the body. Alderizio hits a jab but misses with a right hook to the ribs. Are they just parrying each other or parodying each other here? It seems a bit whatever you can do I can do better. They engage. Stevens scores with a brace of jabs but can't hit the right cross. Alderizio hits a jab but misses with the right hook. In exchange of strikes, these both fighters fail to land anything significant. They engage in the centre. Stevens lands a left jab but doesn't find the mark with a right hook. Alderizio hits a left jab and also hits a right hand. They come together and strike. Stevens hits a jab but doesn't find the mark with the right hook. Alderizio hits a left jab but doesn't connect with the right hand. I've read that sentence about 48 times in this fight, I think. Both fighters come together and strike. Stevens scores with a brace of jabs but misses with a big right hand. Alderizio lands a left jab but misses with a big right hand. We go past the halfway point of this round, thank God. Both fighters step in to strike. Stevens hits a jab and also connects with the right hand. Alderizio uses a left jab and also scores with the right hook. Both fighters move in and engage. Stevens hits a jab and also hits a right hand. Alderizio hits a jab and also hits a right hand. Fuck. Boys. Both fighters come together and strike. Stevens misses a jab but connects with the right hand. Alderizio lands a left jab and also lands a right hook. They come together and strike. Stevens lands a left jab and also hits a right cross. Alderizio is off target with the jab but hits a right cross. They engage in the centre. I'm going mental now. Stevens hits a jab but doesn't find the mark with the right hook. Alderizio misses a jab and hits a right cross. The end of the round is coming quick. There's under a minute left. The two combatants meet in the centre. Stevens hits a left jab but misses a right hook. Let's just assume that that's going to finish the last few. Yeah. Okay. that is exactly how the fight ends. Sorry I skipped those last few bits, but I was reading the same sentence about 58 times there. Okay, I don't know who won that round. I think the real loser there was me. An extremely close round, could have gone either way. Give it to Stevens. So it's going to be a split decision. Christ knows where it's going to go. 29-28, all give it to Rufus Stevens. So Stevens moves on to 19-3, and Alderizio falls now to 17-2. Being good. Well, it probably was good to watch, not so good to call. Okay, now it is co-main event time. The bad element, Kirk, I'm praying this one goes to a finish. The co-main event is up next. The bad element, Kirk Kitson, faces the Calgary assassin, Mike Watson, in the Gamma light heavyweight division. Behan is the referee. Morecambe, Wild and Milligan the third are the judges. Here's the opening bell. The two fighters come forward and engage. Watson hits a pair of jabs but can't hit a right cross. Kitson hits a jab but doesn't find the mark with the right hook. Watson comes forward with an attack. Kitson lands a left hand in the exchange. Watson uses a left jab but finds nothing but air with a big right. They engage in the centre. Kitson is off target with the jab but nails a right cross. Watson uses a left jab but doesn't connect with a right roundhouse kick to the body. Both fighters come together and strike. Watson uses a left jab but is well off target with a head kick. Kitson is off target with a jab and also can't hit a right cross. They come together and strike. Watson uses a left jab but doesn't connect with a low kick. Kitson misses a couple of jabs and also doesn't connect with the right hand. They stand and trade in the centre of the cage, but neither fighter can land a good shot. Halfway in the round gone, both fighters step in to strike. Kitson uses a left jab but doesn't find the mark with a right hook. Watson misses with a pair of jabs and also doesn't find the mark with a right hook. The two fighters engage. Watson hits a left jab and also hits a right cross. Kitson hits a left jab but doesn't find the mark with a right hook. They come together and strike. Watson hits a jab and also hits a left roundhouse kick to the body, and Kitson hits a left jab but misses with his right hook. They exchange, nothing really happens. Less than a minute left. Kitson scores with a jab and hits a right cross. Watson hits a left jab but misses his leg kick. They meet in the centre. Watson hits a left jab and lands a right hook, and Kitson hits a left jab and a right cross. An errant finger caught Watson in the eye. He backs off clutching his face. Oh no! The referee gives him a few moments to recover and the fight restarts. Watson forces the action. Kitson hits two counter left hands though in the process. Watson throws a two-punch combination, but Kitson avoids both, and that's how round one finishes. 10-9 to Kitson according to Blurcat. Now round two. Nothing really lands from an exchange. Watson lands a left jab but misses with a big right hand. Kitson hits a pair of jabs and also scores with the right hook. The two fighters come together and strike, but it's relatively tentative and nothing comes of it. Watson comes forward and the two fighters engage. Kitson fires off a counter jab. A combo that ends with a roundhouse body kick fails to land for Watson. Kitson closes the distance and clinches with Watson without being caught. Now he tries to put Watson up against the cage and does so. He's smothering him and hits an elbow strike. Halfway in this round, he hits a knee strike to the thigh. Kitson's now smothering him before hitting him in the stomach, and uses dirty boxing to keep him there. Now Kitson tries to use a judo throw to take Watson down and does so and lands in half guard. Now Kitson goes to unload but Watson blocks it. Watson's now trying to sweep from half guard but can't get out of the position. Less than a minute left. Kitson looks to go past half guard and goes straight into mount, unloads with big rights and lands a few powerful shots, and it looks like he might have hurt his hand though. Based on what he's doing, if it's a break, it's going to affect his striking ability dramatically. But he carries on punching, and Watson takes massive punches. But that's the end of the round. Watson is saved there. Definitely a Kitson round. That got exciting quickly. Now Watson needs to finish. With Kitson having hurt his hand, maybe this is his opportunity, now or never. The two fighters engage, but neither lands anything worthwhile. Watson misses a jab and can't find the mark with the right hook. Kitson misses a jab and also misses a right hook. Neither lands anything. They start to strike. Watson hits a left jab but misses with a roundhouse kick. Kitson misses both his attempts. They come together and strike. Watson uses a left jab and hits a glancing blow with a high kick. Kitson misses with the left jab but also misses a right hook. We pass halfway mark of the round. They step into strike. Watson misses with both his attempts and Kitson misses with his. Watson uses a left jab but misses with his follow-up leg kick. Kitson is off target with both. They come together and strike. Watson misses a couple of jabs and also fails on a leg kick attempt. Kitson misses a jab and misses his other attempt. The two fighters engage. Watson needs a finish now. He might be winning the round but it's not enough. Watson misses his attempts, Kitson misses his attempts. And this is going to be the end of the fight. Watson again misses both, Kitson misses both. And that's the end of the fight. Watson takes the round, but he's going to have lost this fight too late in the day to come back. Interestingly, one of the judges gave Kitson the last round by the looks of it. Kirk Kitson wins by unanimous decision, moving him to still 14-0. Mike Watson falls to 12-2. Decent co-main event, apparently. Now we're moving to the main event of the night. The GAMMA Middleweight champion, the anarchist Matthew Dean, taking on Braulio Loco Moura. Okay, let's see what the champion can do. Referee is Carl Crisp, and the judges are Wodehouse, Twain and Morecambe. Here we go. They touch gloves. Dean is able to pull Moura in without taking any strikes, and looks to get him in a Muay Thai clinch. Doesn't get it though, Moura slips out and moves away. Dean moves in and grapples with his opponent, and now looks to try and take him down, and does so with a belly-to-belly and gets in the guard. Dean looks to throw some strikes, but he's really looking ahead and trying to plan it out. Moura throws some strikes, but Dean's able to avoid them. Now Dean looks to pass the guard and gets in side control. He looks to go to mount now. Moura actually gives up his back by trying to roll away, and Dean gets the hooks in. Now Dean fires away and actually hurts Moura with a couple of strikes, and after doing so, he looks to finish him off with a rear naked choke, but Moura's able to stop him from applying it. Now Dean goes for another rear naked choke, and again Moura's able to block it. Moura can't break out of the hooks, and that's the end of the round. Dean takes that 10-9. Round number 2. Moura connects with a jab but finds nothing but air with a big right. They go to exchange in the middle. Moura uses left jab but misses with his big strike. Dean hits the left jab but hits his right hand as well. Dean now pulls Moura into the clinch without taking any big damage. Dean looks to put him up against the cage and does so. Dean now smothers Moura up there, and they just kind of do pity-patter punches. Dean keeps him there still. Keeps him there exchanging strikes for a minute. The referee separates them. Moura scores with a jab and also hits a glancing blow with a high kick. Dean hits a left jab but fails on a hook attempt to the body. Dean appeared to be going in close, but Moura took the initiative first. Now Moura lands a left hand that catches Dean with a right hook. The end of the round is coming quick. There's under a minute left. Dean backing off hits a weak left hand. Moura connects with a nice jab and then catches Dean with a right hook. Dean manages to close the distance and grab Moura before getting hit. Dirty boxing is the order of the day, and that's the end of round 2. They've given that round to Dean there. You could argue it was possibly maybe Moura's, but I wouldn't have too many problems with Dean getting that. Round 3 now. Moura uses a jab, but Dean dodges the roundhouse kick to the body that follows. They go to engage. Moura hits a pair of jabs and also hits a glancing high kick. Dean is off target with the jab and also doesn't connect with the right hand. Moura connects with the jab and Dean dodges the leg kick that follows up. They engage in the centre. You'd think Dean would be going for a takedown, seeing as that's where he had his most success, and the fact that Moura's a striker and Dean's a grappler. Moura uses the left jab but misses the leg kick. Dean is off target with both his attempts. Now Dean does manage to pull Moura into a clinch. Now he goes for the Muay Thai clinch against a Muay Thai guy, and probably not the best. Moura's able to fight it off and move out of the grapple. Halfway through the round, Dean grabs Moura again, uses a knee strike from the grapple and catches Moura to the side of the stomach. Now he's looking for a takedown again. A T-bone suplex, Moura is left shaken, pulled half guard. Half guard, Dean begins working to get into side control, and he goes straight into mount instead. Now Dean pounds away, landing a lot of clean strikes. There's only a minute left though. He goes to pound away again, but not as many get through this time. The same with 30 seconds left on the clock. Dean pounds away with right hands, hitting several big shots again. He survived, basically. Long and short of it, he survived. That's definitely a Dean round. 10-9. I can't believe all the main card fights look like they're going to go to a finish, and all the undercard ones, bar one, did finish. Sorry, let me start that again. That was bollocks what I just said. All the undercard and the preliminary got finished, apart from the main one. Now we're on the main card. All of them are going to a draw. Not a draw, a decision. Holy biscuits, Batman. What the... Anyway, Moura needs to turn up the intensity. Round 4 begins. Moura throws a quick 1-2 but doesn't land either blow. They stand and trade but neither hit anything. Now Dean grapples him again. Now Dean goes for a trip takedown, hits the inside leg trip, and Moura's forced to pull half guard. Dean looks to go for side control and gets it. Now Dean looks to go for the mount, and he mounts him. With 3 minutes left now, 2 minutes left, it looks a bit dangerous. Dean starts to fire away. Moura gets hit by a few big shots, and the same happens again. Dean fires away. Moura's starting to deal with a few more of them. Now Moura's able to deal with all of them. Moura goes to sweep, but Dean blocks it. Now Dean tries to pound away. Moura's still able to comfortably deal with it. Stays in mount, unloads with a few big rights, and lands a few powerful shots. Dean pounds away, but Moura isn't troubled by the strikes, and that's probably going to be where the round ends, and it is. It looks like Dean might be 4 rounds up, or at the very worst 3 rounds to 1 up. Now it's the final round. Moura needs to finish this, I believe. They exchange a few strikes, but nothing significant lands. A quick step in means that Dean closes the distance. Dean goes to push Moura up against the cage and does it. Now he's pinning him there. Moura still up against the cage. They exchange a bit of dirty boxing that goes on for a minute. The referee breaks up and brings them back to the centre. Dean lands a left jab but doesn't connect with the right hand. Moura's off target with both of his strikes. A defensive jab hits from Dean. Moura fails to land any of the strikes in a combo that ends with a scything low kick. The two combatants exchange in the centre. Dean hits a jab and hits a right hand. Moura misses both his attempts. They exchange in the centre. They go to strike again. Dean is off target with a jab but lands a nice right hook. Moura hits a left jab but misses his head kick, and that's the end of the fight. And that's going to be another Dean round. I think Dean might be retaining his middleweight crown now. Let's see what the judges think. They've given him all 5 rounds. Anarchist Matthew Dean retains his GAMMA Middleweight title, moving to 37-5. Braulio Moura falls now to 24-3 with 1 no contest. Not the worst fight, it's just a shame all of them went to decision. At least I hope you've enjoyed it. I mean, it's not been too bad, has it? Okay, we finished the play-by-play. So they're the fights that I just showed for you guys on camera. Dean beating Moura, Kitson beating Watson, Stevens beating Alderizio, Lopez beating Hughes, Hilton beating Steven, and Loat beating Goodbody. Okay, we can see here we've got 2,583 in Texas for a gate of $533,906. Critical rating of 65%, commercial rating of 68%. Let's have a look. Screw it, that's fine. Okay, let's have a look at the prelims. Now, this is what you didn't see. Jan Hasluk beat Lenny Di Maria, but with a submission. Oscar Malaby beat Zaire Williams with a knockout. Monroe knocked the shit out of Smith. That was an unbelievable knockout. Renato beat Damian Jones. Joshua Hope beats Terry Catt. Dalen beats Siamasco. Evan Gardner beats Carmelo Rossi. So, yeah, those were all pretty good fights as well. I have a rough idea of what awards I'm going to give based on this. We've increased our popularity by 2.7%. Very nice. They want to give Rufus Stevens and Josh Alderizio the fight of the night. Based on the fact that I had such a hell of a time just reading out their punch combinations, I'm going to let them have it, actually. Going to let them have it. Renato's submission of Damian Jones, it was pretty good. But the Oscar Malaby Zaire Williams was not the knockout at all. It was Isaiah Monroe knocking out Thomas Smith. I'll leave that though. I'm happy with the rest of it. Yep. So as we can see from the earners, Raul Hughes earned the most with $42,000. Next was Matthew Dean, the middleweight champion. Rufus Stevens, Kirk, Kitson, and Mike Watson rounding out the top 5. It looks like we made a total of $3.1 million in profit. That's pretty good. That's pretty good. I'll take that. Take that to the bank, in fact. Cash that check in and do a runner. Okay, we've got unread emails. I'll sort that out off camera. So the next event, I believe, let's have a look, is actually going to be a television show, Gamma Battle Lines 4, which will see the super heavyweight title, Davey Rushton, defending against George Pickering, I believe that is. We'll be seeing 6 main fights there. There's 8 preliminaries as well, assuming no one gets injured. That is the scheduled main event for the next show. So I hope everyone has enjoyed this video. It's been a bit of fun. I hope you like the format and the setup that I have for you guys. Until next time, though, make sure you hit that like button. Subscribe if you haven't done so already. We've got loads of videos going on, lots of different styles, and it's all fun, and I like you guys enjoying it and joining in and all that good stuff. And until next time, guys, I'll see you around.
Shut up and sit down.